Alright guys, we are back. As you can see, we have recently conquered France. Our troops are kind of in a mad rush to get where they need to go, but that's okay. Now the main thing I want to point out is I've not had Italy join the war yet. That is a strategic decision so that they didn't get destroyed too early. Japan making progress in the Pacific. You know, taking some islands here and there. They're not doing great, but they're doing all right. Now our next problem is going to be the Soviet Union. Um and it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard to decide when to attack. Obviously, I don't have a lot of troops there now. But there will be. We're gonna build some more troops. We're gonna fill that line, and then we're gonna hopefully conquer the Soviets. As you can see up here, we're gaining 41 manpower a month, which is pretty good, but it will never be able to match what the Soviets are getting. But what we are gonna do now, we're gonna call Italy into the war very shortly. Gonna turn off automate trade to try and save our diplomatic influence. We don't really need it anymore anyway. So, I have a lot of units here. But they're gonna be our vanguard. They're gonna prevent an amphibious landing by the US or England. And we have until October 1st, 42 before Ribbentrop expires. As you can see, we are vastly overteched in a good way. Our infantry is doing fantastic. Our armor is all top-notch. And we have some heavy tanks. Getting ready to be built once we have self-propelled artillery. Now, naval combat in Hoi, or air combat, I'm sorry, kinda not fantastic. We're gonna use these interceptors to try and just stop this bombing. We're gonna use our TAC bombers to hopefully, maybe do some damage to Britain. Where are they? There we go. Use our interceptors to get some superiority over the English Channel. Finland, worried about the Soviets, I'm sure, for good reason. See right here we have 10 fighters and 0 bombers versus our 8 fighters and 0 bombers. We're gonna get more interceptors into this fight. Hopefully take out their strategic bombers because they are ridiculously expensive to build. Denmark looking okay. We're just gonna attach our 3 stars to our theater HQs, the ones that are on pure defensive purposes. I can invade Sweden, but I think that's a distraction we don't really need. We are losing troops here and there, but shouldn't be too much of a problem. And Italy is now at war. So hopefully they can kill some British Navy that maybe is already weakened by Japan. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It may be a mistake. But I'm playing this very off the cuff. If it's a mistake, it's a mistake. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna set these to bomb the runways just at night and only for a month, so they don't get too shot up. Hopefully, at least. Now remember, England always has Gibraltar. It's basically impossible to take. So they usually have access to the Mediterranean. See, we're at 113 officer reserve. That's pretty good. Looks like there's not really any naval battles going on in the Mediterranean. So, I mean, that could be good for us, or it could be bad. It could mean their entire fleet's in Japan, causing some damage. I mean, we'll see. Alright. Now to spread out these troops into some sort of organized front. Well, hopefully they're not going to declare war on me, because I am not prepared. Which means they probably know that I'm not prepared. Again, you don't really have to worry about all of these red lines right now, because we're moving things around. We're not leaving things in this situation. Once everything gets set, on the other hand, you know, maybe that's when you start worrying yourself. I think this entire battle group is going to move to Soviet border. Hmm. Let's see. Some naval combat going on down here. It's going well. Let me think here. I'm looking very good on the Western Front. England can't match the skill or amount of troops I have, but this whole front, I mean, this front doesn't look terrible. It's not super strong. What I'm thinking is of taking Yugoslavia and looping around through Romania. Which would be unfortunate because I wasted all of those diplomacy points on Romania to begin with. But, I mean, I could be using spies to increase Soviet threat, but I feel like if they declare war in Poland, I might... They might drift towards me anyway. And I'd rather have my better troops on the Soviet border. It's a tough one. I could use them to take Sweden, but defending Sweden without a navy is very difficult. You know what? Let's move them up north here. Poor Luxembourg. They're just not worth the trouble. And I'm guessing I'm making pretty solid work of the British Air Force. I mean, they're getting some bombers through. They're probably coming from Malta, maybe. See combat here. This is safe. Oh, they're still... Man, they've been naval striking for a year now for no reason. So we'll move them a little closer. That's Navy. So yeah, maybe... I mean, tactical bombers aren't exactly very strong naval units. But they'll do the job. They'll do some damage at least. Not a ton, but... And now we have rocket artillery, which is a fun unit to use. They're essentially just they're better artillery, essentially. They're more expensive, but what? I wonder if regular artillery is doing more damage because of upgrades to it I have. It's strange. So with rocket artillery, I do 15 soft attack and 18 with regular. Well, to find out, we look at our techs. Yeah. So. Maybe I don't build rocket artillery yet because they're not upgraded. But let's build, I mean, I'll build a couple. They'll upgrade eventually. Spain is very close to joining our faction. The UK's threat would go up just a little bit. We would be golden. And this is where my lack of spy usage really bites me in the ass, but it's not it's not what I wanted to focus on for this. You don't need it. It's useful, but you don't need it. I don't need national Spain in the Axis. It's not the most relevant thing. He has no one attached to him. Alright. As you can see, everyone's kind of detached from who they should be. We have a 4-star up here that really should be way down here, but we'll get that under control. Italy, of course, running into fierce resistance of one unit in retreating, but making some headway in France, whose capital is in Tunisia. Always kind of funny. Now, they have all these units. You know what? I feel like I should conquer Switzerland just to free up these Italian units. So we're gonna divert our force. Conquering Switzerland is not difficult, but sometimes it can be, you get a lot of revolts and things of that nature. But that'll let Italy focus all their forces down away from mainland Europe and let me deal with it. Almost there. Now all these units. Mountain units we're going to send to the Yugoslavian border. I'm aware I just moved them over here, but they're going to have to walk. I won't really need the mountain units to take Switzerland. They only have 2 victory points. I mean, I wouldn't really need them to take Yugoslavia either, but it'll make it a little faster. And I guess we have to send an HQ unit with them, don't we? I guess we have to send another HQ unit with them, unfortunately. But we have plenty. Oh, no we do not. Remember, 3 stars can only take 4 or 5 units, divisions attached to them, so you have to be careful. We have this huge mess here because of this. Now this is something I would normally probably do when I was paused, because it gets very confusing, but I don't really need to do it right now. Again, it's not a huge... I do need another HQ, damn it. Well, he's not doing anything, so you can go with him. You have this big stack of 3 stars just kind of hanging out. More techs going. Good ones, too. Our beginning run of boat techs coming along. Remember, we're not going to have a particularly good navy anyway. Check on Spain's progress. Almost. That's an event that just kills all the Maginot Line forts. Not a big deal. Doesn't really matter anymore. Now, if we look at our victory points, we have 2 victory conditions in Sweden. Zurich and Bern. Bern, yeah. So we're just gonna rush them, essentially. Use our newfound production. Looking a little better here. Something kind of funny to me about a Waffen SS unit in Paris, just reminds me of Inglourious Bastards or something. I'm sure that's gonna go over well. And let's check to see how Japan's doing. Still pushing on Siam. Good. They haven't landed in mainland Australia yet. Nothing major going on over there. Now, we have this big stack of units here. They're going to be our reserve. They're going to stay right where they are. I'm just going to spread them out a bit so I don't forget that they're there and I can actually see all the units. We are still kind of weak up here, but that's where these guys are going to go when we're done with Switzerland. They are out of fuel. These units, you might want to worry or think about worrying about this, but you don't have to. Um, they're not getting fueled because they just moved halfway across the halfway across Europe, and see, there they go. Now they're getting their fuel. It takes a while, so whenever you get those errors or warnings, don't panic. Things are going to be out of supply sometime, and that's okay. See, we do have some bombing going on here. Not a huge deal. Alright. Organize our troops on the Yugoslavian border. Troops are almost organized on the French border. And now we have self-propelled rocket artillery. Now let's see. So heavy armor. How long till I get mechanized is the real question. December 3rd. So half a year. I think it'll be worth it to always upgrade, I guess. Now see there, we get a 25% combined arms bonus. Our combat width is only 2, and it's a heavy armor. I think this is a really strong unit. There are those, I'm sure, that would disagree with me, but I really like that unit. Check on Spain. Most. We could do is just try to do this. It'll help just until Spain gets in the Axis. We'll increase. Oop, not who I wanted. United Kingdom. Increase their threat. It should work for the most part. Alright. So that's about it. We're kind of in the interbellum period. Antebellum? Doesn't matter. Next time we are going to attack Yugoslavia to try and relieve some pressure from Italy, who is losing Africa, as they always do. And we're going to invade Switzerland for the same reason. But alright, catch you next time.